Well, before we go, I just wanted to bring up a couple other charts. One thing here is the the stablecoin index. It looks like, so basically, for those of you that I'm following, you know what this is, but for those who aren't, this is basically the stablecoin. It's a composite metric, so it's basically USDC, Tether, and DAI, going back to 2019, and it's showing you how when they're in favor and out of favor. And typically when this chart goes down, it means that money's flowing out of stablecoins and back into Bitcoin, Ethereum, Hex. And when it's going up, usually that's a bear market. So obviously you can see since November of 21, when the bear market started for Bitcoin, money flowed back into stablecoins to de-risk. Okay, so then what we ended up doing over the last, 7, 8, 9 months was we consolidated sideways inside of this rise ascending triangle pattern. Tried to break out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, failed every time, and eventually that led to a breakdown, which actually ended up leading to a big rally in Bitcoin and ETH. And obviously you've seen Hex come up 380% off the lows. But recently, it's starting to create this rounded bottom, and it's coming up back to test the underside of this triangle. And my opinion here is that you're going to get this key test here in the next few days, maybe a week or 2 weeks. And if you fail to get back above, retest, and go, the bear market's officially done, and that implies that the bull market is in full effect. Crypto spring is fully going, and you're going to come back down here and you're going to retest the bottom of this parabola on the stablecoin index. So this is a chart to watch. If it breaks up, goes bear market for like 6 to 9 months more. If it tries to get above, breaks back down, I mean, obviously Bitcoin and ETH are going to rip, and there's a lot of fractals playing out right now on those pairs. That is basically implying that we're closer, we're done with the bear market as far as like making new lows, but there's still possibility to follow that 2015 cycle and come down here and test like maybe that 18 to 20K range, where people are going to be ready with their wallets, ready to purchase. We've seen this before. This fractal is not all that different from back here in 18, when price just basically traded sideways for a short time before ripping higher. The first target level is 39K, so this is what you could kind of see out of it, something like this, where you go up and test that 39K region. And where I'm getting that number from is if you go to lookintobitcoin.com and you pull up the 350-day moving average on the golden ratio multiplier, every time the price comes up to test the gold line, it's up back above it and moving toward the green line within 6 months. And every occasion, here you failed, you broke down. 5 months later, you come up, you test, you go for green, right? 2018, same thing. You come consolidate below, go up to test green, actually met it at red. COVID breakdown, broke below, came up to test, held it as support, started the bull run, and right now we're basically right back there where you're consolidating below it, and that green line right now is set at 38,791. So even in a breakdown to test the lows one more time on this FUD news, if it happens, that's what you're looking at is like 20K is the next test. And I just, personally, that's a dip to buy. If it follows the 18 fractal, you're basically going up from here, and this is going to hold. I know weekends are low volume. This is when typically you'll see breakdowns occur, and right now the price is literally just holding flat. And I'm hate to say it for the bears, but like there's none of you left, so y'all got wrecked. And a lot of what kind of bad news if the Silvergate thing doesn't break it, like what's going to? So, I mean, anything that goes down is a dip to buy in my mind, right?
Yep.
So, Ethereum.
You're lucky to get any better prices.
Ethereum holding up quite well, consolidating right below the 786. Whenever you get consolidation below a key level, that's usually the most bullish of signs. And then obviously a Hex versus Bitcoin. Let's pull out to a weekly. Absolutely looking amazing. Look at this shit. Like Hex is wrecking Bitcoin like so hard. It just came up and tested the 786.
When if Hex makes a third top against BTC, that's pretty unprecedented, is it? Like very, very few coins have made a third consecutive top relative to BTC, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right. So like there's not very many altcoins that comes up and breaks this all-time high in Bitcoin terms and goes higher, right? And so maybe this is the pair that stops us out. Maybe we get up here in the next few weeks, and then you marginally higher, and then that's it, and we have to come down and we have to trade lower for 9 months before leading up into the bull run, where you really start to get some serious upside action. in Bitcoin terms. You know, that's definitely the way I'm kind of looking at it right now, is that we're going to go up, test the highs on Bitcoin, you know, see how we act against that all-time high, and then maybe come back down for a retest of some lower levels. But yeah, I mean, everything looks good to me, man. Like I said, the guys that can sell it down are few and far between, and if they're willing to take that risk, you know. So Hex BTC chart looks great. Hex
yeah.
ETH again, same thing. It's touching the 618. The previous cycle we ripped through on 3 different occasions before retesting and going. Right now, this is our second rip through, and we've done amazingly so far. And it's obviously it's holding its position better because so many people left the system and just don't have enough
Yep.
economic energy to imbalance that ratio that I was telling you earlier.
Hmm.
So that's all looking great. I know the dollar has been struggling to make new levels. We had this is important to know. I mean, I don't want to go too much farther into this because we're getting to the end of the stream, but this is unarguably this is a parabola, right? And that's a blow off top. Typical. You've seen it in Bitcoin before if you've been following that market. And this is just a typical come up and retest. Maybe it gets up in here, maybe it doesn't, and then it's going to break back down. Anytime the dollar breaks down, people seek safe haven in growth assets and they take on risk. Anytime the dollar goes up, that becomes the safe haven. I'm of the belief that the dollar's got less than 9 months before it really breaks down hard and makes some new lows. And so what that would mean for crypto is like essentially a new bull run. And it's lining up nicely with Benner's cycle theory. If you want to look into that chart, you can. Last thing, this chart. For those of you guys wanting to dump, this is where we could go by next year. This is Bitcoin on the left on its ascent from a penny to $255 in like 6 years. You know, if Hex stays on track with Bitcoin's price appreciation, you could be seeing a $7 Hex next year. You know, if you figure that, you know, the market's growing and it might be a little slower, then maybe you're looking more at 2025. If you think this could come sooner, maybe you're coming sometime next year. So just think about this stuff. You know, we're basically handing the keys over to institutions now because Hex is going to gain eyes and interest. So don't give away your shit for pennies, man. Give it away for dollars. You know, it'll help everybody. All right, guys.
Tons of dollars if you
All
can.
right. Appreciate you all. We're taking off.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Appreciate you. All right. Later.